Good morning, everyone. We would be happy to see you take your seats and so that we can start right away. Thank you.
We have been working with ABAC for a long time now, and the results have been very outstanding, to say the least. There have been a lot of improvements in the way we implement our financial inclusion programs in this part of the world. Our development partners in the region, consisting of multilaterals, representatives from governments, finance ministries, and central banks. The private sector, we have a vast array of institutions attending this forum, from the stalwarts in the microfinance sector to ABAC, of course, and foundations, civil society, which are involved in different activities on microfinance and disaster finance. First of all, we would like to welcome you to the beautiful city of Tagaytay. We chose to hold the meeting here today because Tagaytay is one of the most popular destinations due to its magnificent scenery, cooler climate provided by high altitude. It overlooks Taal Lake and provides one of the iconic views of Taal volcano island in the middle of the lake, which can be seen from several location points in the city. The ground which we stand on used to be the slopes of a big mountain, which exploded and sent all dust throughout the whole country. And so what we have now is a lake. It threw out all the mountain throughout the Philippines, and now you see a beautiful lake, a magnificent one. The forum we are holding on to for the next few days is very relevant to the general theme of the Philippines APEC hosting, which is building inclusive economies, building a better world. Indeed, the previous accomplishment of this forum, which started way back in 2010, contributed to more knowledge, innovation in different aspects of financial inclusion, and continues its thrust to provide access to the unbanked, the unserved, and the underserved. Important topics such as microfinance, mobile and branchless banking, retail and payment systems, remittances, innovations to promote inclusive financial systems, financial infrastructure, financial literacy, different regulatory frameworks, movable assets, and credit reporting, among other topics, which were discussed during the previous fora, were instrumental in increasing the level of financial inclusion in the region. This yearly forum is important because it brings together the public and private sector, financial regulators, policymakers, multilateral institutions, microfinance institutions, financial inclusion experts, industry organizations, and private foundations. And we continue to learn from each other. In the next 2 days, we will venture into further advancing lending infrastructure to promote inclusive financial systems to improve lending to the low-income, vulnerable households and small enterprises. We will be conducting a review of policy recommendations on financial inclusion to assess the extent to which they have been adopted by APEC economies and identify the challenges that remain for their implementation. I encourage your participation and provide inputs to strengthen these policies. The economic experiences on financial inclusion of Mexico, Vietnam, and Papua New Guinea will be shared to us, adding to the vast knowledge of economic experiences from previous fora. This exercise is important because it shows the different levels of development for financial inclusion in the region. Definitely, we also learn from our differences. We will also discuss digital finance and explore how digital financial service providers can provide customer centricity based on their experience. Risks being a main issue in financial inclusion will also be tackled because the nature of the risk for customers is changing with technology, widespread use of agents, and the expansion of the digital financial credit. To solve the asymmetric information problem in financial inclusion, credit information systems will be examined with particulars on private credit bureau and public credit registry and how they can complement each other. We're also discussing into making public and non-bank data more accessible to private bureaus because they are more efficient when they have access to such data. We are also pushing on how to assist SMEs so that they gain more access to financial services through developing, creating, and innovating more products which they need to sustain and expand their productive endeavors. As we all know, SMEs are the backbones of our economies. SMEs create jobs, and therefore we must support SMEs in any way possible. To complement FI work on SMEs, we are organizing a session which will enable SME access to finance to improve secure transaction systems by looking at reforms of the legal and regulatory regime. Here we are talking about commercial law reforms, among others, which will benefit SMEs. Also, we are aiming to build supportive operational infrastructure for secured finance, with particulars on the practical infrastructure needs of the secured lending sector for secured financing to the mid-market. Lastly, we are looking at the possibility of a Pathfinder initiative to support the acceleration of reforms in participating APEC economies where reforms have been introduced. We aim to do this with the assistance of the private sector and the multilateral organizations. I would like to thank all the co-organizers and sponsors who made the forum possible this year. I wish us all a fruitful interaction in the next 2 days. I hope you will find the time to go around Tagaytay and enjoy the famous Taal volcano, its lake, cool weather, and the warm hospitality of the local people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gil. Well, that concludes our opening session. I heard that the volcano erupts every 5 years, and the last time it erupted was 5 years ago. But we're hoping that the fireworks this year will come from this forum in the form of concrete initiatives that will result in the explosion of entrepreneurship in the grassroots in the Asia-Pacific region. And so, in closing, let me thank again our speakers for being here and their institutions also for supporting this forum, Stephen, Batara, and Gil. And so thank you very much. And this concludes our forum. And well, let me invite the people in the session 1 to come to the stage. So thank you very much.